Most groups are formed from an unhealed individual, a wounded soul, someone that has not done the soul work. Thank you for tuning in. Love having you here. They end up hosting a group that unhealedness in them, those wounds, end up affecting the entire group. You have your own light. You are your own light. You shine in your own light. You can stand in your own light. It is enough. You are enough. You don't need the definition of belonging to a group so that you can be visible. You shine right where you are because you are that magnificent light and you are that magnificent. Hi, welcome back. I love having you here. I'll get right into it. Groups. Just say no. Just say no. Groups, what they really are, they are a wounded individual that has not addressed their wounds, that has not addressed any trauma that they've experienced. And they're just gathering with a whole bunch of other individuals that maybe some did the soul work and maybe some didn't, and maybe they're still walking around wounded. Because let's face it, there's a lot of beings, individuated expressions of the divine that are walking around wounded, and they have not addressed those wounds. And that is the issue, and that is the crux of why there is so much toxicity in groups. I know firsthand groups are toxic. It comes out sooner or later. It comes out, it all has to do with the host. If the host is not doing their soul work, that is not a place for you, beloved. So these unhealed hosts will use words like integrity and good character. When if you were to look when the camera is off, you would see that they are experiencing a very heavy cognitive dissonance. They are so removed from applying the principles or the qualities that they're speaking about. They're so far removed from applying them in their own lives that they just end up projecting onto others things that they themselves are doing, if that makes sense to you. So that's another attribute with a host. Look at their personal walk and see if they're actually walking the talk. Number one, how to do that will vary from individual to individual. This last group I left, I made a podcast, definitely made a video, face-to-face video like this about my experience with groups. It may look on the surface that when I left this group that I left because of an incident. No, that's not it at all. Not at all. That's so far from the mark. It's hilarious. It wasn't an incident that caused me to leave. It was my soul that was pulling me out. And then finally, boom, right? The big boom. And I was out. So that group, I never dropped names because I wasn't interested in names. It's not personal for me. It's very impersonal. It's about the energy. This last group I left, the host is extremely toxic. Whether they realize it or not, they are extremely toxic. I've only ever tried to join 3 groups in my entire experience. I never could follow anything. I'm not a follower. There's certain things here that just will not align. They do not resonate with me. However, I did at times desire community. I did desire camaraderie. And I felt I would find that in a group. Not so. It's not so, because most groups, it's a collective hive mind, if you will. On the surface, it looks like people are getting together for similar interests, et cetera, et cetera. But what's really happening is the subconscious is at play. And you hear me on this channel, if you know me at all, that I talk about the subconscious and I talk about the true self. And that's all there really is to talk about. And I talk about the way that the subconscious thoughts outpicture onto this realm, right? So to take care and manage your thoughts, manage your emotions, right? And that's what we do as soul beings, as co-creators on this realm. So all that to say that I made a video of my experience of groups. And I asked under the video, I didn't get any responses. I'm not sure why, but what would you do if you were in my situation and you were faced with that? How would you handle it differently? And I was encouraging those who have had very unhealthy experiences in groups to go public with it if they felt a calling to do it, not out of a lower frequency of spite or anything like that, but just if they felt called to not keep it private, because people like to use the word private when they're hiding a lot of corrupt stuff and they don't want to be seen without their mask. Let's leave it at that. I'm saying this to put out to you that you don't have to join a group. Me, myself, I've never been able to follow. I've never been able to follow. That's just not in my DNA. And so to join a group, yes, camaraderie would have been good. Yes, fellowship would have been good. However, I left the group because I had been going less and less to the group, and I found myself less and less interested in the frequency of the group. There's beautiful individuals in there that I love dearly. Just the host and the collective, it just felt very, as I deepen, it's the things around me will not vibrate in the same capacity, the same frequency, capacitance, I could say, the same frequency that I am. And that's when we know it's time to move on. And so I was feeling in this group less and less of a charge, less and less of a resonance. And it was just a matter of time. And what I really realized is that Spirit showed me, yes, actually, you do not belong in this group. And I'm going to remove you with a mini tower. We'll call it a mini tower, but I'm going to remove you with an incident because this is not for you, my love. And that's the memo I got. I was already leaving. I was just taking my time about it. And I have a circle of quality over quantity around me. And, I'd like to maybe keep this group. But I knew already it was done for me. I had seen enough toxicity, and maybe people wouldn't consider it toxicity. I do. I read energy all the time because it shows itself to me all the time. And so, wow, that was an accent. I wondered where that came from. But anyway, that group I ended up leaving because the toxicity outweighed any kind of camaraderie benefit or frequency that I might have been receiving. And I knew it was time to go. I knew it before the incident. So you don't have to wait for an incident. You do not have to wait for something to blow up or fall apart. Most times, though, that's what we end up doing. And that's why it's called experience, right? Because that's how we gain our wisdom. This whole group thing, do not feel you have to stay anywhere. Do not feel you have to stay in a group because if you don't, X, Y, and Z, or if you leave the group, X, Y, and Z. If you feel at any point, and I don't know what age is listening to this, what age bracket, it may have nothing to do with that, and everything to do with frequency. However, you don't have to overstay your welcome. You feel a nudge, you see signs, honor them. Don't ignore them. Watch your signs. And you don't have to listen to anything I'm saying here. I'm sharing with you from experience that I know firsthand groups are toxic. It comes out sooner or later. It comes out, it all has to do with the host. If the host is not doing their soul work, that is not a place for you, beloved. You do not need to be in a group to be either accepted or approved of. You have your own light. You are your own light. You shine in your own light. You can stand in your own light. It is enough. You are enough. You don't need the definition of belonging to a group so that you can be visible. You shine right where you are because you are that magnificent light and you are that magnificent. So I hope this video helped. I just wanted to give a heads up on groups and why they are extremely toxic. And and watch your frequency for yourself. And because when we clean, and when we're cleaning, we don't want to repollute, right? We don't want to repollute our soul. So, because that can happen. And we can find ourselves back 10 steps instead of forward 10 steps. Not that it's a linear experience. I'm talking I'm talking octaves. I'm talking frequency, right? So, yeah, I wish you the best with this. I really intend that this helps. And I'll see you at the next one. Until then, much love, much good health, much prosperity. See you at the next one.